on air and online. From New Hanover County Schools Television, connecting you with the experts. This is NHCS Back to School Live.
Hello, and welcome to New Hanover County Schools Back to School Live call-in show. I'm Valita Quattlebaum, Chief Communications Officer, and I'm your host today. Welcome to all of our parents and anyone else who's watching. And we're so excited about being live today. This is our first time doing this, and this is going to be a very informative program, so we're glad you're here. So remember, we are live, so if we make a mistake, just please forgive us and we'll keep the show moving along. So working on camera and in our studio, we have two of our CTEC students, Jason and Thomas. Thank you guys. We're glad you're here helping us out today, getting some knowledge about TV production. And now we'll meet our expert panelists who'll be answering your questions. So on our panel today, we have Eimer Smith, who is our Child Nutrition Director. We have Ms. Judy Stubblefield, who is the district's behavior specialist. We have Dr. Jackie Jethro. Dr. Jethro is our Director of Elementary Education and the Title I program. Mr. Dave Spencer is our Safety Officer. Mr. Ken Nance is our Director of Transportation. He gets our children to school safely. And Al O'Brien is our Director of Secondary Education, and he's also our Athletic Director. So thank you, panelists, for being here. We have volunteers standing by to answer your phones. If you do have a back-to-school question, please give us a call at 910-530-6125. Again, that number is 910-530-6125. Our staff will be happy to write down your back-to-school questions, and we'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible during our show today. We have had a few parents who wrote in their questions earlier, so let's go to our first question and get started. So, Ms. Smith, the parents want to know, how do I know if my child's school provides free lunch?
That's a good question. We have several different options. We're actually going to send out a Connect 5 call to all the parents that are at the schools that receive the meals at no cost. Plus, we have a newsletter that every parent's going to receive to inform them about the schools. If they don't have a chance to read this, we are going to, they're welcome to call my office at 254-4212, or they can email us or look at our website and contact me.
And do we have that in English and Spanish?
We do. We actually have it in Spanish on our web page, but we have it in English going out to schools. But we do have it available in both languages.
Excellent, excellent. And we have a question for you, Mr. Nance. Parents have heard a little bit about this new app we have called EduLog. Can you tell us about that and what's so great about it?
Well, we're giving parents an opportunity this year to download an app in which they'll be able to see where their child's bus is. In today's world, parents want to know everything they can about their child, and this will give them the ability each day, each morning and afternoon, to see where the bus is located and picking up their child at their stop. And they also set notifications so they'll know if the bus is a mile away or half a mile away or a quarter of a mile away, so they can send their child out to the bus stop. Now again, we ask parents not just to wait to the last minute to send their child out, but again, this will tell them where the bus is so they can prepare every day, particularly in bad weather. They won't have the child standing at the bus stop for 15 or 20 minutes waiting for the bus.
Wow, that's great. And when will this be available for parents?
It'll be sometime this fall. We're actually installing the equipment right now on the buses, and we need to do some more testing, but sometime this fall, we'll send notifications out to the parents through an all-call, through newsletters, and all the information will be on the website about how to download this app.
Oh, that's great. Okay, we have another question. Ms. Stubblefield, it's your turn.
Yes.
Okay. One of our parents wants to know if their child is being bullied at school and they're not satisfied with the answers they received at the school level, what should they do?
Well, we have many ways that parents can address those concerns. If there is an issue that is not being addressed properly, they feel, by the school administration, they should then contact our student support services. Usually those concerns may go directly to our assistant superintendent, Julie Askew, And if there's something that she can't resolve and needs further review, I'm usually the person who goes out and follows up and supports the school on their investigation. And there are times when parents may come in and we'll have a face-to-face with them to try to resolve the issue. But every step is taken, and as many steps as possible, to try to resolve those concerns parents have. And we want them to feel that they have been heard. If all of that fails, we do have the parent concern complaint forms that they can submit, and a more detailed investigation will be followed up by then.
Okay, and all of that information you just gave is on our website,
Yes,
correct?
it is.
Okay, great. Dr. Jethro, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, one of our parents wants to know, how are staggered kindergarten enrollment dates selected? And could those be mailed out earlier?
That's a great question. As a former principal, I'm a big fan of staggered entry into kindergarten. The reason why it varies from school to school is because different elementary schools have a different number of kindergarten homeroom classes. So some schools may have 3 kindergarten homerooms, some may have 5 or 6, so that would make a difference in their scheduling. I urge them to reach out to the school, call the office, talk to the ladies that are manning the office at the school and get the details. As I said, it's a really positive thing. It gives the kindergartners an opportunity in a small group to get used to the new routine, and gives the teachers an opportunity to get to know the students in a smaller group setting.
Okay. Mr. Spencer, we have a safety question. A parent wants to know, when we have a lockdown at their child's school, how do they know if it's serious or if it's just a routine thing?
Well, we want all of our folks in our schools, if we call lockdown, to take it seriously. So whether it's a drill, whether it's the real deal, so to speak, so we want everyone to take it seriously. And just for information's sake, I do want folks to understand the difference between a shelter in place and a lockdown. Shelter in place is going to be a level of threat, but it's not to the same level of threat as a lockdown would be. As if there's something in the neighborhood where our inside activities would continue as normal, teaching would continue, all work inside the building would continue. We just would have control over who comes in and out of our buildings. And in a lockdown situation, the level of threat's a little higher for some sort of imminent situation. And that means we basically shut down. All activity stops, and then we assess the situation.
Right. Should parents come to the schools?
No, ma'am.
No, right. Why not? Can you explain that? Why shouldn't they come to the schools?
One of the main reasons is our law enforcement will be there controlling the flow of traffic, and we want to assess the situation on our campuses and to take care of our students and staffs and any visitors who may be there, so as to not add to the number of folks who might be in any other kind of potential harm as well.
Okay. So this next question is for you, Mr. O'Brien, and Dr. Jeffro, feel free to chime in. The parents want to know about the open houses, the dates, what they can expect this year, anything different.
Well, I would refer everybody to the individual school websites because each school may have a slightly different time that they may be running their open house. But I think the schedule is August 21st is the high school open house date. And again, dates could vary. August 22nd is the
middle school.
Is the middle school.
Yes, sir.
And then
August 23rd for elementary.
August 23rd for
August
elementary.
23rd for elementary.
And those are all August dates. If I said October, I apologize, but August dates.
Right. So we said we make a mistake. It's okay. So we're August. So this week.
So this week,
This
basically,
week, right.
is the open houses, and all of that is advertised on the school websites.
Okay. All right. So we actually have a question for me. Oh boy. Okay. So the question for public relations is, if I'm looking to volunteer at my child's school, how do I get involved? That is a great question. You can always call your child's school directly and speak to the principal, and they'll let you know where the need is greatest. And if you're a group, Caress Clegg in the PR department does community partners, and you can go to our website at nhcs.net, and we will connect you with our schools, because the schools have different needs, and we always welcome community partners to come in and support us, and we have many ways you can do that. So that's a great question. Okay. So let's see. Ms. Stubblefield.
Yes.
A parent wants to know what constitutes bullying. There seems to be sometimes a misunderstanding about what bullying is. Can you tell us about that?
I am so glad that that question has been asked because that's always requiring clarification.
Right.
Bullying and conflict get confused at times. So let's start off with the conflict. Conflict is that situation where maybe two kids just don't see eye to eye on something, and they really didn't intend any serious malice or rage or anger. They just had a misunderstanding at the moment. I went to grab the basketball and he grabbed it and he hit me with the shoulder and I fell, and I really didn't mean anything and I'm really sorry. So usually after a situation where it's just conflict, one of the parties or both parties are quite contrite and they realize that it was just a mistake and it's not something that's repeated. With bullying, there are several factors that come in play. There's usually an imbalance of power, meaning that maybe it's several students having some hostile or aggressive or verbal harassment toward one child. That would be an imbalance of power. Or a fifth grader saying things and making a second grader feel terribly uncomfortable, and not just one time but multiple times, like some of the situations we might have on a school bus.
Right.
And so those are the main factors: imbalance of power and that it is repeated behavior that is hostile or aggressive.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Stubblefield. Mr. Nance, we have a question for you. A parent wants to know if their child is late, their bus is late, and they want more information. Who should they call if they're panicking and wondering where their child is?
They can go to our website. There are a list of about 8 or 9 numbers they can call. And of course, we get a lot of parent calls each day, so if they can't get one number to answer, they can call another one. But again, there's about 8 numbers out there they can call to get the information they need.
Okay, great. That's great. So, Mr. O'Brien, you are new athletic director. We have a question for you. A parent wants to know, is it too late for their children to try out for fall sports?
So if this is a high school question, I think the answer is it depends. And again, it will depend on the situation at each school as to whether or not they still have space available on the team, and whether or not they can work the student in. If it's a middle school parent that's calling in, those tryouts have not started yet. So if it's middle school,
So
it's not too late. And they
it's not
typically
too
do
late.
start the first week. But if it's a high school situation, a lot of it will depend on availability in terms of space on the team, and whether or not they've can work the students in. But certainly, I would definitely recommend that they reach out to the coach of the team, to the school athletic director, and touch base with them. I would rather them do that and find out to see if there is still availability.
Right,
Because,
so give it a try. Right?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. And keeping in mind that they also have to have a physical and other things in place before they can try out.
And how does the parents get their, do we provide information on where they can go?
So the physical forms are located on our website, and of course they're available at the school, and coaches have access to them as well. So, but they would have to have a physical, completed physical by a medical professional, a doctor, in order to try out for athletics.
Great, great. I know the parents will be glad to hear that. So, Mr. Spencer, the parents want to know that we have locks on our middle and elementary schools, locks and buzzers on the doors, and they want to know, why don't the high schools have the same thing?
It's coming.
It's coming?
It's
That's
coming.
good news.
Yes,
Okay.
we were hoping to be able to roll that out this summer, but with all the activities of last fall with Florence, some things got put on the back burner. It doesn't mean that it's not a significance for us, and it is. And so we're, while we're waiting for that to happen, we are asking that our high school folks sort of change the mindset and control the flow. Even though our campuses are wide open and there are numerous doors on all of our high school campuses, we are asking that we just sort of start changing the mindset and control where we're wanting students as well as visitors to enter. And of course, any visitors, please come to the main office and check in. But it's going to take some work to get our folks used to that, particularly at the high school level on these big open campuses.
Right. Thank you. So, Dr. Jeffro, A parent wants to know that what they can do to help their child who's struggling with learning. The family can't necessarily afford one of the commercial tutoring services. What can New Hanover County Schools offer to our elementary students who might be struggling?
Outstanding. I would encourage them to talk to the child's teacher first and foremost. A lot of our schools offer some tutoring, some intervention and support at their school site, so their child may be able to take advantage of that. And another really good strategy is to request a student-led conference where all three people attend the conference. So you have the teacher, the parent, and the child there, and really have a conversation about the areas in which the child is struggling, how they feel when this occurs, and then the teacher and parent can work out the details of how the parent can support at home.
Okay, great. Student-led conferences.
Yes.
Have we been doing that for a while?
A lot of our schools feature student-led conferences, but the parent can always request that. Typically, if a parent requests a conference, it is just the parent and the teacher, and we've left out the most important person in terms of the learning that's occurring.
Is the student. Right.
Yes.
That's great. Ms. Smith, parents want to hear from you again. They want to know what's new in child nutrition this year. What's new and exciting that they might not know about?
Well, we have a wonderful app that we're pushing out for our menu app, and it's going to be an interactive app that parents can download on their phones, and they can work with their child, kind of designing like a menu for the day, and they can see if if their children want the chicken nuggets with a salad and peaches and
Those
milk.
tater tots, you still
We do have tater tots still, yes, but they can design their own menus and see how many calories, fats, sodium, some nutritional content of the food items.
What if a child has a special dietary need? Do you have anything for that?
We do, and in fact, this app, you can, if you have a gluten allergy or if you have a peanut allergy, you can actually tell the app that you have this allergy, and it will wipe out all the food items that have these ingredients in it. So it's going to be a wonderful tool that students can use, parents can use. And so I encourage them to go to our website and see all the interesting information that we have available to parents.
What's the app called?
Menu apps.
Menu apps. Okay, and where do they get
Menu
it?
viewer. I've got it right here on my phone.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it's an easy application that an app to download, and it was easy just to. And I'm glad you asked that question. It's web menus.
Web menus. Okay.
And we actually have it on our web page.
So parents can go right now and download it.
Download the app
Okay.
and start developing their menus with their
And
children.
pick their menus.
Yes.
Okay.
And they can
awesome.
actually pay on that app too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Ms. Smith. Okay, Mr. O'Brien, again, a parent wants to know, why can't all requests for transfers be accepted to another school? Why can't people just go wherever they want to go?
Well, we do have districts, and we do have to monitor the numbers of students and make sure that we have balance within all of our schools. So a lot of things go into those factors in terms of how districting works. We are a system of choice, and so you can actually, during the open enrollment periods, and if this is specific to secondary schools, there is opportunity to apply to different programs that are offered at our high schools. We have a different signature program for each of our high schools. We also have opportunity for our students that are coming into ninth grade to make application to some of our early colleges. And so we do have a lot of choice opportunity.
Can you remind us again about the signature programs?
I sure can. So each of our traditional high schools has a signature program. Ashley High School has the Marine Science Academy. Hoggard High School has the International Baccalaureate program. New Hanover High School has the Lyceum program. And Laney High School has the STEM program, and within the STEM program they focus on biomedical technology and also engineering. So they each have a specific signature program that sets them apart from each of the other schools. And then if you look at our early colleges, they are Again, you can enter those as a ninth grader, with the exception of C-Tech. They do take multiple entry points, so, and they have 3 grade levels now. They have a 9th, 10th, and 11th grade cohort this year, and so there are multiple access and entry points to C-Tech. So we do have a lot of choice, but we do also have districts so that we can maintain, student enrollment numbers.
Okay, great, thank you. Ms. Stubblefield, the parents want to know that what about the kids in their classes that have behavior problems? Like, it's not their kid, but it's the other children. What can parents do when there's a student in the class that's disruptive? And I know as a parent, that's real, that bothers your student. What can they do about that?
That is something that we have to continually make adjustments for, because children come to us as they are.
Right.
And every parent is sending the very best child they have to us. They're not keeping all the good ones at home.
Right.
They're giving us what they have. And so we have various levels of support that's available to students. And we recognize that a student may have behaviors that interfere with the learning of other students, and that it may be disruptive. So at that point, many times we have to make adjustments and provide interventions where that student may get some support outside of the classroom. If a student is feeling more and more distracted or disrupted by the possibly disabilities of another child or the behaviors, I would suggest that the parent first contact the teacher and talk about it. We want
the teacher is the first point of contact.
The first point of contact, because that's her house. Right. And they do a very good job of trying to make sure that they handle transitions, partner learning, independent learning, small group work in ways that all students can still learn. If you find that there's not enough support or enough response to address the problem beyond the teacher, then you should always contact the administrator and let the administrators give a chance to look at it and see if there are changes that can be made.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Stubblefield. Dr. Jethro, can you talk to us a little bit? The parent wants to know, how can they be assured that our teachers are continuing their professional development, that they didn't just graduate from, say, ECU 5 years ago and nothing's happening? Can you talk to us about how we keep our teachers in top-notch?
Absolutely. Well, as a member of the instructional services team,
yes,
we participate with the teachers, with the principals in terms of professional development days. So those are built into our school calendar, and we take them very seriously. To begin, this year we are going to implement a kindergarten, first grade, and second grade reading curriculum called Reading Fundamentals. That's a very positive thing, because every student, K-1-2, across our district will be participating in the same curriculum. So if there happens to be transition from school to school, your child would leave one elementary school and enter the other and have the exact same resources, the exact same curriculum to participate in. But we are going through training right now to prepare all of our teachers to implement that curriculum. And in general, our principals assess the needs in their building. They all complete something called a comprehensive needs assessment, and they look at areas that are positives, they look at areas that are deficits, and they design a professional development plan for their school to meet those needs. So that is an ongoing thing, and from the central office perspective, we work with all of them to support that.
Okay, great. And we do have excellent professional development in Hanover County Schools.
We do.
That's wonderful. Ms. Smith, the parents want to know about lunch again.
Okay.
They want to know 2 things. One, how much is school lunch this year? And why do some schools get free lunch and breakfast for the whole school and other schools do not? Can you explain that?
I can,
Thank
yes.
you.
So let's start off with meal prices.
Okay.
Meal prices pre-K through 8th grade will be for lunch $2.55. And then for high school, it's $2.60. Breakfast remains the same all across the board, so it's $1.35, which is very reasonable.
$1.35 for
$1.35.
Wow.
So it's very reasonable. And if you're on a reduced price meal plan, then it's 30 cents for breakfast and 40 cents for lunch. Now, the reason why behind some schools are getting what we call CEP, which is community eligibility provision.
Right.
And that's a federal program that we were able to apply for, and you have to meet certain criterias, and these schools met the criteria. So we have 27 in New Hanover County schools that met the criterias. And so it's a great privilege for some schools to be able to offer children at those schools, meals at no cost. So it is, I wish that we could go all across the board, but there are certain guidelines that we have to follow.
Right.
And so
but if any parent is having trouble paying for lunch, we can help them, right?
Definitely,
what
yes.
Can we do?
We have free and reduced applications on our webpage.
Right.
Every child is at a non-CEP school will receive an orange free and reduced form. And
that's why
they
I love
need to.
Miss Nell. Look at you, ready.
I love props.
Right.
Orange free and that needs to come to it will go to the teacher, probably the teacher first, and then it will come to the cafeteria manager. Then it comes every day. We're getting these,
right,
and we're processing these daily.
Right, and we don't lunch shame in New Hanover County Schools.
No,
there's no shame. There's no stigma or anything.
No one knows at all. Every child gets a card with their ID number on it. No, there's no identification at all.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful.
And we do have a la carte items available for children to buy, but free and reduced applications are available year round. We take them till the last day of school.
Right. And where can parents get those?
On our webpage, and then we've already delivered these applications to every child at a non-CEP school.
Okay,
so they
great.
should get them the first day of school.
They should get them in those packets.
Right. First day of school.
And if they don't have one, they can call you, and we'll make sure we get them one. Right. Right. Okay. Great. Mr. Nance, you're going to love this question. This parent wants to know, what can they do to become a bus driver? We still need bus drivers, right?
Actually, yes, we do need bus drivers.
Okay.
In fact, finding bus drivers is the #1 issue in transportation in the United States, not just in New Hanover County or the state of North Carolina, but all over the United States. Everybody's trying to find bus drivers. It's much more difficult to be a bus driver than most people understand. You first of all have to go to school for a week, pass a written test. You have to drive a bus and pass a driving test. You got to do a DOT physical. You got to prove your physical fitness. You got to pass all kinds of background tests. So again, to be a bus driver is much more difficult than most people think. But yes, we do need bus drivers. And our next class is this coming September. It will actually be in Pender County for Pender County, New Hanover County, and Brunswick County. And they can go online and put in an application, then we'll call them back about what they need to do to move forward when it comes to attending the class.
Okay, great. So if a parent wants to sign up, find out about being a bus driver, they can just contact your office. Is that right?
They can also, if they just want general information, just go on our website and call Valerie Jones. Her telephone number is on the website for transportation.
Okay. So thank you so much for that. Mr. O'Brien, a parent wants to know, do we have any new sports available for our female athletes?
So the newest sport that we introduced was a middle school sport last year, and it was for girls and for boys, and that was middle school cross country. But we have no other new sports other than that. But we did roll that out last year for our middle schools, so we do have cross country teams for both girls and boys at that level.
Right. Okay, so we have to start wrapping up now. But you guys have been great. Any last minute thing anybody want to say? No?
We will be rolling out our new online bullying reporting system within the next several weeks, and parents will all be notified.
Excellent, excellent. These people are smart and kind, and I enjoy working with each of you every single day because they're so dedicated and so knowledgeable. And right now we're out of time. And thank you again, panelists, for joining us. Parents, thank you. I hope you learned a lot, and we want to answer your questions. So if you still need information or have questions about the start of the school year, you can always go to our website at nhcs.net. I'm Valita Quattlebaum, and on behalf of New Hanover County Schools, we look forward to working with you and your student to be as successful as possible during the 2019-2020 school year. Thanks for watching.